I think everyone, welcome back to Like I Said. I got Yeadon Smith in the studio.
What's up, dude?
Dude, you've been, I feel like the Smith family is pretty popular in terms of like Somerville. You guys have been here for a long time.
Well, if you're familiar with the great movie, the classic HBO movie, The Three Amigos,
Yeah.
the Smith family might be more infamous
Okay.
than famous, right?
I like that.
Now, one of my favorite lines, like, this is El Guapo, he's not just famous, he's infamous, more than famous. So, yeah, I joke with my dad, if we've been here for 8 generations, it seems like we would own more real estate or there'd be more streets named after us. I'm not sure. But I've been here since I was 8. My dad and my uncle, they were born here in town. My grandfather was. So my family's been here a long time.
Yeah, no kidding. I remember growing up, I found this out way later because, I mean, I haven't seen your little brother in a long time, but I still consider that we're good friends. But I used to go to a hunting club with my dad all the time. And then years later, I found out that y'all's family are the ones that owned it, I think.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Right there, Woodpatch Hill,
Yep.
Jedburgh?
Yeah.
No way. I had no idea,
I would
bro.
fish back there. We would hunt, camp. And then one time, I think Paul mentioned something about like the dove shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, that sounds really familiar with something I did as a kid. And I'm like, wait, what? And we just finally, all the ties connected. I was like, holy crap.
Oh my gosh, man. I had no idea.
It's wild how close. Like I've met so many people in Somerville because I've been here since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
And just so many like intertwinings. I'm like, I should have known you guys way earlier and just never did.
Well, we were homeschooled, so we didn't get out much.
Fair enough.
When I say didn't get out much, I'm not even kidding, man. So I'm 45 this year. We moved back to Somerville in 1988. I was 8 years old, starting 3rd grade. We were homeschooling. My mom would not let us go outside before 3 o'clock. Because in 1988, nobody knew what homeschooling was. It had just barely become legal in South Carolina in the few years before that. So mom didn't want CPS knocking on her door or somebody calling the truancy office like, why aren't your kids in school? What's going on? So yeah, I remember watching the clock. It was like 3 o'clock. Okay, I can go play outside.
Gone.
Yeah. So homeschooled, we didn't really get out much, especially growing up in the homeschool cultish bubble that we were in.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But now, out and about, building relationships, making up for lost time in Somerville.
Yeah, you guys are everywhere. I know Paul, I see Paul doing like real estate things left and right. You did real estate for a while.
Yeah, I did. I was in residential real estate. I started in, I think, 2013, maybe 2014, and then got my broker's license. I still have my broker's license, but I'm not practicing residential real estate. And I was everywhere. I started a podcast. I mean, you could probably still find it online. Somerville Advice Givers. You
Check
can
it
look that
out.
up. I had 52 episodes.
Okay, got to still be there somewhere.
Yeah, they're still out there somewhere. I interviewed like Brad Mallett, Rachel Sheridan, now Rachel Cole.
Okay, yep.
Wojtek.
The maestro.
Just a bunch of people in Somerville, like about their businesses, what they do, and things like that. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Fun.
I really like talking to people. What is speaking of the real estate, what was the biggest lesson you had to learn in real estate?
Man, that's a tough one because my real estate career has gone from residential real estate agent to residential real estate broker, trying to build a brokerage, to then partnering with my cousin Jennings to do property management, building a property management company, starting to do commercial real estate investing, learning how to raise capital, buying apartments, just come a long way.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Since helping people buy and sell houses. So I would say, and actually I was talking about this on a coaching call I had earlier today with the real estate coaching company we do. The ability to kind of trust the process. And when I say trust the process, I mean because probably have heard that phrase, like, oh, trust the process. Just like do the do and trust that it's going to work. And I think if you go a level or two deeper, part of that has to do with your capacity to sit with discomfort, the capacity to sit with uncomfortable emotions. I remember when I got started in my real estate career, like writing my affirmations. I enjoy making X amount of money per year, right? It's like the present tense. It is happening. I'm enjoying it, even though I'm like, I am going broke.
Yeah.
No money, no clients, no anything. I enjoy making $60,000 a year in real estate, right? Right. That sort of thing. But trusting the people that were ahead of me and following the process, even though the emotions were uncomfortable.
Mhm.
That was probably one of the biggest lessons in real estate. Is like, they say this is going to work. I got no other option. So I'm going to go for it.
Solid. I think it's hard for people to do, sit in discomfort. I
Oh,
think
man. And that, now at the time, I wouldn't have, I don't think I realized that that's the muscle I was building. I was just desperate. And they said, this is what you do. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Whether I want to or not,
Mhm.
I'm going to do it because I got 3 kids, a mortgage, bills. I mean, I almost went totally broke my first year in real estate.
Damn.
Had like $40,000 in credit card debt and had made, I think, $18,000.
Oh.
Because you can pay for everything. You can pay for everything with a credit card except for my mortgage.
Yeah.
So the actual money I made from real estate went to pay my mortgage.
Mhm.
And I just like gas, American Express, groceries, Visa, something else, something. Like I had 2 credit cards that I would, one for business and one for personal. And I was only paying the minimum balance, the minimum payment every month.
Just to get by.
It's like, this is either going to work or my credit score is going to go way down and I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy or something.
Oh, man.
So yeah, and then, with the real estate career, it did end up working. Pulled myself, the rocks stopped sinking
There you
and
go.
slowly started to float back up to the surface.
Yeah, so it paid off. Trusting the process worked in that moment.
Yeah, trusting the process and not letting, like, the lesson of capacity to sit with the discomfort and not react, but choose my actions. As I look back, I can see, oh, that's a lot of what I was doing.
Mhm.
I didn't really think about it that way at the time because I had all kind of other issues in my life that I hadn't worked through or grown past. But as I've faced those emotional pain points, those trauma, those whatever they are, demons from the past, that shadow work, like, oh, I can see now, yeah, I was partly building that muscle of this is uncomfortable, but I got to do it. It
Mhm.
also helped that the financial pressure of I got to, it's like, if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
So I am playing all out. I cannot risk not putting 100% effort into this. If I put 100% effort into this and it doesn't work, I'll know that I couldn't do it.
Yeah, at least you gave it
And I
100%.
will, it's like, okay, I'll pivot and I would be a kick ass fast food manager.
Oh my god.
One of
Hey,
my
I
first
believe
jobs
you.
was at Arby's. And dude, like, I love it.
Dude, I mean, Arby's is a good one.
Dude, I loved Arby's. The Arby's right by Brad's shop.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One of my first jobs in town. And when I went out to El Paso for mission work and into college and then youth ministry, when I first left home, my plan was I'm going to go be on the mission field for a year, work in Mexico. I'm going to come back, get my job at Arby's, assistant manager, manager, regional manager. Like I had my whole career path planned out.
Mhm. What happened?
Oh man, life got in the way.
As it
I had a
as it does.
conversation with a missionary whose biography I had read. It's like, young man, get yourself an education. Went to UTEP, got in this youth ministry training program, met my wife, Jessica. They ended up hiring me when the director moved on. I was in full-time youth ministry for a decade, on my way to go to seminary, moved home, and realized seminary was so like Arby's fell off. Like, nope, no more Arby's.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go on the, stay out here, do youth ministry. Moved home, planning to go to seminary. Realized seminary is not the plan. Seminary is not my path. I was working as a health coach, helping people lose weight with a multi-level marketing company. And then after that, went into real estate. From real estate, started property management. From property management, we started doing commercial real estate, investing, raising capital, and then accidentally built a coaching company on how to do it.
Accidentally,
Yeah,
nice.
and that's so like what we do now. What I do now is commercial real estate, uh, buying apartment complexes, working with investors, and we have our coaching company that we teach people how to raise capital and how to analyze deals and how to do what we do.
Nice. Hey, take that mic a little bit closer to your
Oh,
mouth.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
My bad. Let's
They
see.
they give that thing a little bit of
Here we
a
go. Here we go.
tweak there. I just want to make sure you're coming in nice. You might.
I see what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, there we go, baby.
Okay. I'm
Excellent.
like, why is it cranked down so tight? No, the cord was getting in the way. All right.
It-
Check one. How's the signal now?
oh, you're good. Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like you
Yeah.
can't coach unless you've been through hardship. You can't help someone get through hard times if you've never been through hard times. And I'm like, you've really. And it's funny you said you stumbled into it by accident, but I mean, it's almost like you were mentioned before. You've kind of trained yourself to get to that point, so it's almost like the end goal anyway. And just
Dude.
kind of being in that mindset of like, all right, I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to sit in my discomfort. And you get to the point where you don't want to see other people struggle as much. And so you just naturally help. Like, yeah, the podcast is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving people a voice and just talking about things, which is a lot of what this podcast is. So honestly, it makes a lot of sense that you ended up in that path.
Well, I love what you said, that it's hard to help people through hard things unless you've gone through hard things. And I remember a friend of mine, I'm just going to say a friend of mine, because I don't want anybody to get thrown under the bus with what I'm about to say, but a friend of mine was stressed out in real estate. He was in real estate. I'm like, man, what's going on? He's like, oh my gosh, I have so much credit card debt. I'm stressing out.
Mm.
And I was like, oh man, dude, I've been there. Like how much are we talking about? He's like, $5,000. And that is what happened to me on the inside.
Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to laugh at his
I was thinking
struggle.
like, bro, come back when there's another zero on the end of that, at least. And then let's talk about being stressed out. But I remember what it was like first time. It's like, oh my God, I have a $5,000 credit card bill. I can only make the minimum payment, all these sorts of things. And so I was able to say, hey, bro, I understand. Like your problems numerically are smaller than my problems are numerically. But emotionally, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things that is easy to discount is the emotional punch of life, because we think, oh man, that person has a great life. They can't have any problems. Like, well, on the one hand, money can buy some happiness.
Yeah.
Right? Like gas in your tank, food in the fridge,
Absolutely.
light bill paid. Is like it can reduce your stress level in a lot of areas. But on the other hand, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
Right? And the emotional pain of a problem, whether you have a lot or have a little, the emotional pain can have the same impact.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to sit with those uncomfortable emotions. I mean, probably you were talking, the biggest change in my life over the past 2.5 years has been active recovery from addiction. learning to sit with the pain instead of reaching for the pain pill, for the unhealthy coping mechanism. It's like, oh man, how can I navigate this pain with peace and power instead of reaching for the pain pill
Mm-hmm.
of this, maladaptive, unhealthy, destructive coping mechanism.
Right. Just instead of just turning it off,
Right.
handle it, grow through it.
Right. It's like sit with the emotions, notice what's going on, figure out where did I get bumped that's it's causing so much pain and process it instead of just like stuffing it down and ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
And building that awareness muscle for me has really given me capacity in my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with clients in real estate, just relationships all across the board.
Yeah.
My parents, my siblings, that capacity to different ways to talk about it, capacity to handle stress, capacity to handle anxiety, capacity to sit in the uncomfortable emotions, capacity to hold discomfort without having a reaction,
Yeah. That's an important one.
right?
Yeah. No lashing out. No, like, yeah, absolutely.
It's like we talk about it in my house all the time. It's okay to be mad. It's not okay to say mean things.
That's good.
It's
I
okay
like
to
that.
be angry. That's a totally normal emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay to be mean,
No.
right?
And you're going to regret it later.
Yeah.
Well, at least most people do.
I was on a coaching call just this morning talking about real estate, and we were talking about this stuff because one of the guys on the call, he has a lead on a house up in the Myrtle Beach area. It's at the distressed, it's going on the auction block, I think tomorrow. And they owe like $47,000 of taxes on it. The issue is it's going to the auction because the owners are getting a divorce and they're just in so much pain that they have the mentality of I'm going to burn this to the ground.
Mm.
And we were talking through that a lot on the coaching call with the deal room that we have because the analogy I made was, and you don't have any kids yet,
Nope.
Caleb? No. There are 4 in my house. So I've heard this phrase a lot where somebody does, and you may have heard that, you may have done this growing up, right? Do
Probably.
something, act out, lash out, something. Mom or dad's like, some sort of consequence.
Yep.
No phone for a week. You're grounded for a week. Whatever. No TV. You can't go to your friend's house. Blah, blah, blah. And of course, what happens next very often is the child kind of escalates it. Because one, the parent, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to parent,
Fair.
but right, slamming down the hammer of authority oftentimes doesn't get us the results we want.
Mm-hmm.
So the child, because they're already in pain, reacts back, doubling down on whatever the behavior is. And it's like, oh, now it's 2 weeks grounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Say what again? You want to make it a month? And I've had this happen with my kids where it's like, dude, if you do this, this is going to happen. I don't care.
So, bold statement.
Right?
Because the reason you say that is because you do care.
Yeah. But what you care about is protecting yourself.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned is that phrase, I don't care, all it means is I am in so much pain right now emotionally that I don't have any space to process anything else. I am so overwhelmed and so flooded that the rational part of my brain is offline.
Yeah.
In this situation with this divorced couple going through this divorce, like they're going to burn this thing to the ground because the rational part is offline. And 2 years, however long from now, somebody's going to be like, I cannot believe I did that.
Yeah. It's like the parable with the lion and the thorn.
Yeah. Remind me of the parable of the lion and the thorn. You know what it
there
has to
was-
do with the lion and a thorn?
Yeah. The lion's like super angry, and I think a mouse ends
yes,
up pulling
yes.
out the thorn and becomes very docile and forgiving and warm and welcoming. but everyone else thought he was a horrible,
Yeah.
very violent and mean, but really he was just in pain.
Yeah. He's just in pain. And people who are in pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, it's almost impossible for that rational part of the brain to that peaceful, what's really going on here part of the brain, because it's just reaction. It's fight or flight. And I don't even know where we came from to get on this topic other than lessons in real estate and life. But building the capacity to notice my emotions and notice my thoughts, not as who I am, but
Mhm.
as I am the one experiencing them. It's like, oh, that's an interesting thought. That's an interesting emotion. That's not who I am. I'm just experiencing anger. I'm experiencing frustration. I don't even like to say, this is kind of, splitting hairs. I don't even like to say, I'm so angry.
Oh, nice.
It's like I am experiencing a lot of anger right now.
It separates you from the emotion when you do that.
Right. Call it mental gymnastics, whatever. It's like, I am not my emotions. I am not even my thoughts. I don't know where my thoughts come from.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, karma, the universe, the source, the consciousness, the force. I don't know. I literally don't know where they come from. Some pop up automatically. Other thoughts I can generate.
Yeah.
Similarly with emotions, right? You're driving down the road. Oh, dude, this has happened sometimes in my neighborhood, which is why the whole neighborhood got galvanized to go to town council and say, hey, 186 unit apartment complex in the neighborhood, not a good idea. But there's been at least 4 or 5 times in my neighborhood where somebody whips around me on a double yellow
Oh boy.
in my neighborhood because there's this particular straightaway because it's a cut through between Bacon's Bridge and Berlin G now and Main Street. And there's been once, couple times in the past year where I'm driving the speed limit, which is 25, which is not fast.
No, it feels like you're barely
Yeah,
moving.
it's like, oh my God, it feels so slow. And some person,
Well put.
whips around me. And in those moments, right, we have a choice. Are we experiencing this emotion? Right. I did not choose to feel the way I feel in that moment.
A lot of irritation, I bet.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh yeah.
I did not wake up thinking, I hope somebody does, right? Like, I mean, maybe it's like, I hope somebody tries. I hope somebody try. Watch what happens. But no, the reality is, didn't get up that morning thinking, I hope somebody really cuts me off in traffic so I can go on a rage fest.
Mm-hmm. Just lose control.
Because, dude, I have lost control in my neighborhood with my kids in the car and yelled out of my truck at a neighbor.
Oh, nice.
Right? And dude, it did not end well.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And traumatized my kids. And dude, this was several years ago before I started in my recovery work. So like now I'm like, oh my God, old Yeadon was such a jackass. I cannot even believe I did that. And I've apologized, and done everything I can to repair with my children and everything. But now something like this, like, oh man, this is a lot of emotion that just showed up. I was
Mm-hmm.
not expecting this. And building the skill, building the repetitions of being able to sit with those uncomfortable emotions, that I would say has been the most valuable skill I've been building for about the past 3 years.
Yeah, I really
Period.
admire that. It's something that I work on all the time.
Period. Yeah, it's every day as part of my recovery habits, we have what we call the core 4 of reading, journaling, exercise, and meditation. So
Yeah, good stuff.
when I wake up, generally my routine is get up after I get Eleanor to school, take the dogs for a walk. I'm listening to my audiobook. Then I'm journaling into my journaling app, voice to text, talking about what's going on. get back to the house. I might start my meditation app before I get home, but then sitting with my meditation app, sitting in a chair, and just trying to notice what thoughts are happening, what emotions are happening, building that awareness where it doesn't matter if I screw up.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if I can't do it. For most of my life, the only time I practiced was when the ammunition was real. Where it's like, "Ah, don't say anything. Don't, like, oh, when you're angry, count to 10 before you say anything.
Yeah, or 20.
Right. Which I was like, I remember my in-laws, they'd gone to a marriage counselor or something like, oh, well, they said, like, count to 10 before. This is before I started doing the work. I was like, that's the dumbest advice I've ever heard. And I still stand by it. I think it is dumb advice because the people who need it literally cannot do it.
Yeah.
And the people who can do it are doing it already.
Fair point. So it's not helping at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, count to 10 before you say anything. It's like, you don't know how fast I count to 10.
Yeah. What are they already?
I already counted to 10. Quantum computer level speed. And that's where I have found like practice. You can't practice that with real ammo. You have to practice it where it's like, oh, I'm by myself, listen to my meditation app, really trying to notice what emotions are present, what thoughts are present. That has built that awareness muscle. And as that muscle has grown, now in real time, somebody cuts me off and I'm like, whew, that is a big emotion that just showed up.
Mhm.
And it's kind of weird because going back 20 years, I remember having a conversation with my then boss when I was in youth ministry, an intern. He was like, I'm really angry with you right now. And it was this really calm voice. And I totally freaked out. I'm like, holy crap, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen anybody say, like, you don't look angry. This is not what anger looks like. Anger looks like, yelling and raging and
Thrashing.
red-faced and,
Oh, yeah.
like anger is violent. And now, 20 years later, he's gotten a lot smarter in the past 20 years. This dude. I mean, he's probably 70 now because he was my age 20 years ago. But being able to, that is a lot of anger that I'm experiencing right now. But I don't have to have a reaction. I can just experience it and let it happen and wait for it to dissipate before I do something else. So that practicing the pause, that's the valuable part. So on the one hand, yes, count to 10 before you say anything. But if you're not practicing that,
you're never going to pull it off.
Yeah, if you're not practicing it when it doesn't matter, you will never pull it off when it matters.
Yeah, it's like weight training.
100%.
Yeah. There's no way you're going to be able to lift that much if you haven't put in the work to get there.
No, I lift weights twice a week. In fact, I'm lifting this afternoon and lifting weights so that when I need muscle and physical strength, I have it.
Yeah.
And also, so when I'm 75, I can still stand up and sit down on the toilet by myself without help. Which is a real thing. Bro, my dad, 76, he just had quintuple bypass last week.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, 5 arteries blocked.
Oh my God.
He's been lifting for a year and a half, and he's home. He is kicking ass in his recovery. He can stand up, sit down all by himself. Doesn't need to use his arms. And dude, they don't even have normal height toilets at my dad's house.
Oh my God, it's the really small, tiny
It's the
ones.
really short ones. Ooh. It's like, I was over there. I'm like, whoa, these toilets are a lot. And I'm thinking, my dad can use a toilet, no problem. 76 without any arms. Pure leg strength. Pure squat. So dude, it's like, I'm squatting for the day. It's like, all right, dad, I'm training for when I'm 86. I'm still going to be able to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. You have to put in the reps ahead of time in order to be able to navigate those emotions when the ammunition is real.
And it feels weird doing that, like mental work. It's easier, I think, when you're working out like muscle, like, all right, I want to
Yeah.
live 225, so I'll start with this weight. But when you're working on like managing your emotions and your reactions and how you sit with those emotions and recognizing it, it feels weird because you're already in a place of calmness, if you will, for
Yeah.
most people. But it's an important thing to start off with, especially as young as possible, the better it is, because I didn't put in any kind of work to do that except for probably like a handful of years ago.
Now, how old are you, Caleb?
35. I turned 36 in a few
Oh my
weeks.
God, to be young again.
I know.
Bro, I didn't start this. You are literally 10 years ahead of me.
Hey, I'll take it. That's great.
Yeah,
Because I feel super behind.
I did not start doing this work until 2.5, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, you could be that much older than me.
I'm 45, bro.
That's not much older. You don't even look 45. It's fine.
See, there we go. There we go, viewers, right? There you go. Now you can see my kids stole
Bro,
all
please.
of my. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Come on. Oh my gosh. But it's so important. And it wasn't until I've looked back and I had bad situations of reacting poorly and feeling the shame afterwards that I'm like, okay, I have to put on the work when I feel good. Because it turns, because you don't know when you're going to get hit or when someone's going to cut you off.
Yeah.
And you can't prepare
There's no
for that.
warning. It's just like,
yeah. But it feels weird to do it, but it's so important. So when I see like young people, like early 20s, that are more cognizant of their emotions and how to handle things, I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
good job. Keep going. Don't give it up. It feels weird because you may not have as many hardships at that time of your life. But when you face those hardships, you're going to be so prepared to handle them that they're not going to hit you as hard.
Yeah.
And so it's weird and difficult, but now's the time when you're calm, practice. I mean, I also had to do the same thing with like feeling immense amount of joy. Almost, I'm not bipolar, but some people in my family are, and so I'm very like aware of how that shows itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen how being manic and feeling an overwhelming sense of like joy and happiness can also cause other problems.
That's why I don't give emotions like qualitative value.
Nice.
It's just, now I do say some are comfortable, some are uncomfortable.
100%.
But not good or bad. It's because if you're constantly trying to find the positive emotions, you're still going to be suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just not going to be experiencing those emotions as frequently as you want or as you wish you could. That desire is like, oh, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be whatever it is. That what's the term? Not like desire is the root of suffering, but the attachment, that the attachment to the outcome, right? Being attached to the emotions is, whether it's a positive or negative emotion, whether it's a comfortable or uncomfortable emotion, there's no way for for both good and bad, there's no way for the comfortable emotions to last as long as we want them to.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, the uncomfortable emotions, they don't last forever. Emotions just don't last forever.
No. Yeah.
The comfortable ones don't last as long as we wish they would. And the uncomfortable ones don't dissipate as fast as we wish they would. It's like, you can't have it both ways.
No.
Emotions just happen and they dissipate when they dissipate. And noticing them and appreciating them, or just enduring them.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to the point where I think with the uncomfortable emotions, one thing that I've been working on is, okay, there's an uncomfortable emotion going on. Like, I try and put on my detective hat, right? It's like, what's really going on here?
Yeah, question it.
Right? So it's like, okay, what's really going on? What do I need? So how real is this podcast? Like how deep do y'all go on topics?
Oh, deep as I can. Like we've talked
Okay.
about like suicide and
So
everything.
I've been in recovery for porn addiction for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And one of the things I'm just like, okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's
So,
safe
dude,
space, my boy.
So been in this because I don't want people to think I'm recovering from alcohol. Is like I'm recovering from porn addiction. And one thing that I've learned from the recovery program is that with almost any type of addiction, it's not the substance, right? I didn't have a porn problem. I had a pain problem.
Mm.
And porn was the pill I was taking to manage the pain. The emotions would flare up and I'd be flooded and overwhelmed. It's like, and that part of my brain, that part of my core, that inner child, that inner addict, that inner voice is like, hey man, you're not okay. You can't survive with this amount of chaos going on. We have to have something to push these emotions to get some semblance of peace on the
Yeah.
inside. And the problem with porn is it almost works. You get a dopamine hit of peace.
A lot.
And then, of course, guilt, fear, shame, and
Yep.
everything rushes back in, as with any sort of really maladaptive, destructive coping mechanism. But looking at it through that lens, it was a coping mechanism with the pain. And now when the emotional pain shows up, you can be like, okay, whew, I'm feeling the pull.
Mm-hmm.
What is that trying to tell me? What is that part of me trying to bring attention to? Because something is not right.
Yeah.
Something is off. There is a legitimate need going on somewhere that I've overlooked or missed. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, tired, right? Whatever it is.
Right. What am I trying to escape from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somewhere there's a legitimate need. Like in the Liberation Boot Camp, which was the recovery program that I joined, a company called Porn to Purpose, found them from another group I was in for dads, jumped into the Liberation Boot Camp, started doing the work, learned this 4-rack formula. It's like RRRRAC. Remember the pain, refocus on paradise. I can never remember them in order.
That's a big acronym.
Yeah, remember it's like 4-rack. I remember the AC. So remember the pain, refocus on paradise, reflect on what you're actually needing.
Okay.
Right? Reflect on what you're actually needing. Remind yourself what else, resolve to your commitment. See, I know them. I just can never remember what's the actual name of it. So remember the pain, refocus on the paradise, reflect on what you actually need. It's like, oh man, not feeling good. What do I actually need? You know what? My sleep was shit last night.
Ooh, yeah, I feel that one.
Or I haven't eaten all day. Or I got in a fight with my wife or my girlfriend or my son or my partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that my connection is I need, whatever. And reflect on, ask yourself what you need, resolve to your commitment. Committing to, I'm not going to go down that road. Then ask yourself, what can I do to meet this need healthy? I do love those Snickers commercials. You're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not you when you're hungry.
So true.
It's like, dude, if you're hungry, get some food.
Yep.
And then maybe, all that chaos will calm down some. So ask yourself what else, and then choose the new direction to go.
Ooh, I like that one too. That way you can apply the energy that you're feeling
right.
in a different direction.
So it's this whole process of, so when the emotions start to hit, it's like, okay, what's really going on?
Yeah.
If my emotions are flared up, it's because something happened, whether I'm conscious or unconscious, right? You're driving along on the freeway, somebody cuts you off. Dude, I was driving the other day. This dude changes lanes. Literally, there was probably a foot between the car in front of him and, his rear bumper and me as he's changing lanes. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I forget who I was with, but like, should I go cut him off, run him off the road? I'm like, no. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Right, but it's like that happens and you're like,
Yeah.
and noticing is like, okay, that's an interesting emotion. Where did that come from? What's it tied to? What's going on? Do I have a need that I need to meet?
Mhm.
Did I have a need that I missed? Like, what's really going on the inside? What thoughts am I noticing? What emotions am I experiencing? What do I want to do next?
Yeah. Like,
And
what's like a healthier path that I can go down?
yeah, a
Yeah.
healthier path. And talking about coping mechanisms, dude, when I started to understand addiction as just an unhealthy coping mechanism, it gave me such peace and freedom because the only tools I ever had about it were like guilt, fear, shame, and avoid growing up
Yeah.
in, Sunday school and Sunday morning church and youth group.
Quite
Dude,
familiar.
I was the youth minister. That's what I was teaching. Guilt, fear, shame, and avoid.
Mhm.
I didn't know any better. While I was stuck in addiction, like talk about, a hypocrite.
It really amplifies those emotions too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I was just stuck. And now when I think about it as a coping mechanism, dude, there's no way out of life without having a coping mechanism.
Mhm.
We're all dealt a coping mechanism of some sort.
Yeah.
In
Wow.
life.
Yeah. Good point.
And generally, they're not the good ones.
Nope. I was just thinking that too. I was like, ooh, we all have a bad move there.
Right?
Yeah.
Generally, it's like, oh, this is my hand of cards. Dang it.
Yeah. No one wants that 3.
Let me see if I can roll a D20 for agility. Ah, no, a 1.
Nice.
Right? But then, and even some of the unhealthy coping mechanisms, right? Then you have socially acceptable coping mechanisms
Oh,
that are also unhealthy.
good point.
The dude who's like, man, I have to go to the gym 3 times a day for 2 hours. This is obviously hyperbole.
Yeah.
But the guy who's like, I have to run 12 miles a day or I'm going to rip somebody's head off. Like, bro, that ain't healthy.
Yeah, you're not really resolving anything.
Right. No, that's not healthy. I mean, it looks healthy because it's like, oh, you're running. I see you on Strava. You're a legend. You have 300,000 steps a week.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not doing it for health. You're doing it to cope.
Mhm.
And really, I understand now, in the comment sections, those are like, well, that's how I do it. But really think about it. Are you doing it to train for health? And there are all sorts of benefits to exercise. I'm not saying exercise is an unhealthy coping mechanism.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to argue that. Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I'm going to go lift here when we finish. And then I'm going to run a 5K this evening just as a training run.
I mean, to me, that's crazy, but go ahead.
Right. Right. So I'm not trying to knock anybody who's a professional athlete or anything, but some unhealthy coping mechanisms are more socially acceptable than others.
Absolutely.
And when we start thinking about them as, oh, is this a coping mechanism? What am I using it to cope with? How can I build better coping mechanisms for the emotional pain of life?
Yeah. Good point. Yes, wow. It's interesting that you bring up the social accepted ones because they're ignored a lot.
Yeah.
And people automatically assume that it's for a good reason. And like we said, there's worse mechanisms you can do, like very worse ones than like overworking out or like eating super healthy and being like crazed about what it is. But there are, if it gets to that point, you need to ask yourself what's going on.
Yeah.
Or you should ask yourself what's going on. Because I mean, there's at some point, it probably won't continue to help you cope with things.
Yeah.
Because you're going to come into a situation where it doesn't handle it anymore.
Just like with any addiction.
Yeah.
The dopamine hit you get from the same level of use goes down over time.
Yep. You have to do more and more and more, and then you're more stuck.
You talk with somebody who's smoked cigarettes for 40 years, they're not smoking a cigarette a day.
Oh, good God. A pack, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've smoked for 40 years. Oh, really? Yeah. Just one cigarette for breakfast. Like, honestly, that would be impressive.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
That would be impressive. Yeah, I just have one. I bought 4 cases of Marlboro Reds 20 years ago, and I'm on my last box.
Yeah, at that point, it's not even an addiction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's always a bit something about addiction to where you lose control and
Yes.
it grows outside of your grasp,
Yeah.
and you have that sense of like falling and being lost.
And with physical addiction, I believe there is a distinction between something that your body gets physically addicted to,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it's like, oh, then you go through physical withdrawal symptoms. But things that you're emotionally addicted to, you have emotional withdrawal symptoms.
Oh yeah, good point.
And dude, emotional pain. I always think when I think of emotional pain, I think of the very first, maybe not the first one, but I think Ang Lee was the director of the Hulk movie.
Oh wow, throwback.
Yeah, this is probably like 20 years ago. It's like the cartoon blocks moving around, like you were watching the comic book, and then like a new frame would show up. It's like the comic book could turn the page.
Yeah. I remember that.
And where he throws the tank, and there are the dogs that go after him, and his dad tries to kill him because he's like the ice vortex monster.
Oh,
Dude, I remember the scene where Hulk is like in the water, and the dad who's trying to kill him and take Hulk's power is like, I want this power. And the thing that I remember from the movie, whether I'm right or wrong, was that Hulk's power was tied to his emotions.
Mm.
And there was limitless emotion. And Hulk went total rage monster, just like take it all. And it just didn't stop. It did not stop. And the dad, evil character, realizes like, oh shit, there's no off switch here. There's no like, oh, it got to 100. It's like, no, 100,000, 10,000. It just kept going up, whatever the level of emotion was, just exponentially increasing. Dad's like, oh crap, I made a mistake.
I'm out.
And that level of emotional pain, I think is almost more risky than physical pain,
Mm-hmm.
because emotional pain, I think there's unlimited capacity to feel it, right?
Yeah, and struggle to explain.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to be like, oh
I broke my arm.
yeah.
I tripped. I'm going through nicotine withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through whatever withdrawal. I'm going through these physical symptoms.
Yeah.
But emotional pain, you don't have scars for emotional pain.
And you have to do a lot of digging in yourself to even be able to understand what's going on.
Right.
I mean, because a lot of times it's easy to misunderstand.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to get different mechanisms for another issue that you haven't quite figured out yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big struggle. I like that Hulk comparison, though. That's a really good one. Because Hulk's whole thing is being able to control his emotions until he can't.
Yeah, it's when I talk about in one of the like growth groups that I'm in, or no, my relationship coach. This is who I talk. I was trying to think, who do I talk with this about? So I work with this coach for, growing my relationship with my wife and being a better husband and things like that. And he says, Yeadon, you want to be Dr. Hulk from Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah.
You want to be the Hulk with glasses
Yeah.
who is a total badass and can level the city if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
But he's there having an intelligent conversation, sipping tea, eating a slice of pizza, whatever. Like Bruce Banner, not that helpful in a fist fight. Angry Hulk, oftentimes causes more problems than he solves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, dude, I just needed that tank destroyed, not the tank and the entire surrounding countryside for 100 miles.
And our own ship.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted you to throw it that way. You just blew up our aircraft carrier. So on both sides of the equation, weakness is not really valuable, but raw, unadulterated strength is very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the middle that's where I want to be. I want to have peace and power, strength and stability. I think as a dad and as a man, that's incredibly important, because physically, I am the most dangerous thing in my house.
Yeah.
I didn't know baseball. I didn't know aluminum baseball bats were hollow until I broke one open on a tree stump one time,
Damn,
15
I didn't
years
know
ago.
that either.
I
Yeah.
thought granite countertops were a lot tougher than they are
Yeah.
until I broke one.
Fair enough. I always thought that way with drywall.
So having that, being that like Dr. Hulk, we're like, oh, I know what's happening with my emotions. I see what's happening with my thoughts instead of letting my thoughts and emotions control me.
Yeah, I love that so much. It's aside from just being more disciplined in the things that I take on, trying to be more non-reactive has been one of my biggest goals
How
lately.
do you practice that?
Um,
Do you have a way to, do you have a method for practicing that? My method is meditation.
in a lot of ways, yeah, that's the best way I can explain it, and it's asking myself a lot of questions is what it comes down to, and whenever I feel a certain way, I try as deep and try to break down as much as I possibly can to get down to a reason like why do I feel this way? Why is this affecting me so much? Why am I reacting? Because I would like to be presented with a situation that normally, like, let's say someone cuts me off on, like, because we've been using traffic a lot, and not even remotely feel anything. It is what it is. And so whenever this situation happens or like something at work goes awry, I'm like, again, now we're doing this again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'll sit and I'm like, oh my God, I'm letting this emotion literally ruin my entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well,
Been there.
that's so stupid. Why am I letting this affect me so much? Or what am I bothered by? And then so I kind of do my best ability, and this is where the meditation comes in, step out of myself and then just start asking a lot of questions as if I'm interviewing myself.
Mm,
And it helps
I love that.
disassociate from the emotion and view it as like trying to figure out what's going on, what caused it. And by doing that over and over again, when I'm presented in that same situation, it helps trigger the brain. It's like, oh, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
I
It's
now
like, oh, I know what to do.
I now understand why I'm upset, or I'm going to get upset, or it's going to continue to affect me unless I walk away from a situation or something. So I guess a lot of it's just internalize interviewing of myself, and so that I can understand why I'm reacting a certain way. And then you can just put in the work afterwards. It doesn't, I mean, it's not like a good to go kind of thing. It's constantly work,
Well, the emotions are never going to go away,
right?
but getting comfortable with experiencing them. It's like, oh, yeah, I am noticing a lot of anger right now. Like, give me just a second. Let me pause, take a breath, and see if I can see if I can let it dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually used a breathing exercise in real time with my wife on a walk where she asked me a question. I still remember we were on a walk and she asked me a question. I got bent out of shape for no reason. She was just, as she was curious. But because I'd been practicing this awareness muscle, building is like, oh, I see what's going on here. And I knew what to do next. Since I needed to help my body reset, I'm like, Jessica, give me 30 seconds. You keep walking. I need to do a quick breathing exercise. And I did one of these breathing exercises that I found online that really kind of hyperoxygenates your body, kind of really, you almost get this, like, I feel high
Yeah.
almost because of the intensity of the breath and the breath hold and the breath release. It took like 90 seconds, but I could the physical sensation, like, okay, reset my nervous system and kind of use that as a coping mechanism to, I'm going to force my body physiologically to reset the nervous system and see what happens with the emotions. And when I finished the breath work, emotions were not there as much.
Right.
They weren't totally gone. But it's like, okay, I'm good. Caught back up with Jessica and we had, continued the conversation and walk home.
Jarman talked about that on one of our last podcasts where we talked about that.
I heard him mentioning stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think, I'm like, that's an interesting take. 'Cause aside from you, like, you're the only other person I've really listened to that talks a lot about the breathing practices and how it helps. And it's so smart. That way you can like you said, reset the body.
Yeah, it's
And,
like I can do there. I have a reset feature where I can, okay, I'm stressed out. I can physiologically give my nervous system a reboot, soft reboot.
mm-hmm.
I'm not unplugging and plugging back in. I'm just
Yeah.
like, just like hitting the reset button on the outside.
Yeah. I think most time if I'm doing breathing work, it's when I have a lot of anxiety. Because it's one of those moments where I'm like, okay, this is just rooted in the fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's gonna be fine. But I get anxiety all the time. And so I have to, like, the breathing helps calm me down and kind of remind myself that whatever I'm about to walk into is not that big of a deal.
You've survived 100% of life so far.
Yeah. I've made it. I've been through so many worse situations.
You're batting 1,000.
So what if I walk into the restaurant and everyone looks at me?
Yeah.
It's okay. So, I mean, it's funny you mentioned it because I never really paired it to anxiety until like this moment. I'm like, when would I breathe the most? I'm like, oh, I've got to do like breathing practices when I have a lot of anxiety. So it's quite often. But it's just it's just like a natural thing that happens. I don't really think about it. So I think now that I understand what I'm doing, it's going to be more helpful because I can help.
I'll send you a link to the guy I follow on YouTube because we do his breathwork exercise every Saturday on recovery calls.
Nice.
With the recovery program, and I use them. I just did one today, or just half of one because I need 90 seconds.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's a 5-minute thing. I love it.
All right, great. I'll definitely give it a try. Because anything to help step away from those emotions and not react is the goal.
Dude.
Absolutely go. Dude, also, it's time.
We are at time. Look at that, man.
I think that's a really
flies when you're having fun.
A really good. Yeah. I think this is great. We really wrapped it back around to what we talked about, and it was very natural and free flowing. Dude, great conversation. It's probably the longest conversation I've ever had with you.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, actually.
Well, most of the time, both of us are like ping-ponging around and we just kind of run into each other and then we're off doing something else.
Well, when I found your podcast, when I found you on like I think it was Instagram or something.
Probably.
Found something where these is like, Caleb has a podcast, like listening to some of the clips. I'm like, oh man, I like this.
Thank you.
I want to see if for nothing else, I'd like to go have a conversation with Caleb for an hour.
That's a really exciting thing. It's like a lot of times the people I've been talking to, I don't really have long conversations. And it's nice because then we get into actual conversations.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not, even though I do love the weather, it's not like we're just chit-chatting about how hot it is outside. Yeah. So it's a great platform for some good, deep conversations.
Well, man, thank you for having me. Really enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Really enjoyed this stuff, talking about life and wins and capacity and emotional intelligence. And I hope that, I don't hope, I know that somebody's going to hear what we talked about today and it's going to have an impact.
This guy. You already got one. So, no, thank you for coming in. It was a good conversation.
Awesome, dude.
And providing your perspective. That was great. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Until next time.